you move whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step. I'm sorry, whole step, half step. So that means that no matter what key you start on, if you use the same intervals moving up the scale, you will always have a major scale. So if we start in D, for instance, so I go from D, from the root, up a whole step, up another whole step, stay here, then I have to move a half, then a whole, then a whole, then a whole, and finally a half. So it's root, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Root, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. That is the underlying theory.
So whole, whole, half,
whole, whole, no, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half.
I know, my friend was teaching me, he's like, it's a rap song, it's like whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half.
Yeah, that's the underlying theory for building any major scale. So if you start on any key, in fact, you know your A, go to your A then. So from A, let's play a major scale. So you're going to go up a whole step. Okay, start again on your root. So it's whole step, whole step. No, yes, then now. No, no.
Well, where's the half?
You start here, it's root. So this, you don't count this as a whole step. The step doesn't come until you actually move.
Okay.
So that's just root. Then you go whole, whole, and then half. So start in the again. So that's the root. Now go whole step, whole, half, whole, whole. No. You're leaving out one hole. So it's two holes and then three holes.
Okay.
So root,
Whole,
whole, half, whole, 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 and then half. Back to here. So let's look at it. Let's break it down. Root, whole step, right? Because a whole step is equal to two half steps. So whole step, half. Now you got to go three whole steps. There's one. There's your second whole step. From there, whole step, and then a half step. Back to do.
okay.
Okay, so let's do it again. Let's start on D. So there's your root. So now up a whole step.
Whole,
Now up another whole step. Half.
half,
Three whole steps.
whole,
Whole.
half.
Nope. One more whole step. There you go. That's it. Yeah, you're just leaving out your last. That's it. Okay, start on E.
Yeah.
So
root, whole,
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 right?
half,
Three holes.
whole,
One.
whole,
Good. One more whole step.
whole, whole,
There you go.
half.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so you kind of getting that? Do it on F.
F,
So I'm just working you up the scale here. So if this is C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So F.
so F. Root, whole, root,
Whole, whole.
half. Yeah?
Yeah.
Whole,
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 whole.
half.
No.
Oh wait, whole,
Then half. Right. Good. Do it again. Same key. Root, whole, whole, half. Three holes. That's it. That's good. One more. Start on G.
G. Root, whole, yeah?
Yeah.
Half, whole,
Beautiful. Okay, you're getting it. That's good. That's really good. Okay, so now we're going to talk about just naming these intervals. So go back to C. Here's your root. And this is just basic counting. So from just moving up your major scale, you start with the root. You go up what's called a major second. Okay? The reason it's called a major second is because you have the option to go to a minor second before you get to a major second, which would be the half step. So from the root to the whole, that's a major second. From the major second, you go to a major third, to a perfect fourth, just what's called fifth, sixth, major seventh, and back to the octave. Now, so, in other words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Okay. It's essentially that simple, but there are some variations, which is the major and the minor. But right now, root is 1, It's your second, your third, your fourth, your fifth, your sixth, your seventh, your eighth. The theory for building major chords, any major chord, you start on any note, that's your root. From that root, the next note up you play is a major third, okay? 2 whole steps. Just like in the major scale, root, whole, whole. Then from that major third, you move up a step and a half to the 5th. Just hang with me here for a minute, which is root. You're going to go up to the 3rd, and then you're going to go to the 5th. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So you're playing 1, 3, 5. Does that make sense? Okay. 1, 3, 5 in the major scale. So, just for grins now, on a C, play the root. Just play the C. Now add the 3rd and the 5th. There you go. Good. And for fun, let's play it like this, with your thumb, your middle finger, and your pinky. Okay? And just hit all those again. With your left hand, I want you to play a C just down here with your pinky. Okay. Good. Now, what notes are you playing in your right hand? Can you name those notes?
C, E, and G.
Right, C, E, G. Those are the 3 notes that make up a C major chord. Which means this is an interesting thing, and it's part of what makes music music. A C chord consists of C, E, G, but you don't have to play them in that order. You can play those notes in any order at all. As long as you're playing a C, an E, and a G, you're playing a C major chord. Okay? It's like Mexican food. As far as I'm concerned, I love Mexican food, but it's pretty much just one dish rearranged, right? I got rice, I got beans, I got meat. Okay? So, it's the same thing here. You've got, rice, beans, meat. So that means that's a C chord, but if I start on the E, go ahead, play the E, and I add a G and a C, find a C, there you go. That's also a C major chord.
How?
How? Because you're playing the same 3 notes. A C, an E, and a G played in any order, anywhere on this keyboard, equals a C major chord. Does that make sense?
Oh, because that's a C?
Because a C major chord is a C, an E, and a G. In fact, on a guitar, if I said play a C major chord, the strings you would play, the notes you would play to make the chord would be a C, an E, and a G. Not necessarily in that order. It could be an E, a G, and a C, or you could play a G, C, and E. Let me show you. So, C, E, G, C major chord. You hear it, right? It's a happy chord. C major chord, because there's my C, there's my E, there's my G. Same chord. Or if I start here, G, C, E, there's my C, my E, my G. That's a C major chord. No matter where I play those 3 notes in any order whatsoever on this keyboard, that's a C major chord. Same thing on your guitar. Whatever fret combination you would do, if you play those 3 notes, C major chord. If everybody in your band knows what a C major chord is, you could say, okay, everybody, so we're starting on a C, and everybody would go bam and play the exact same thing on their instruments in their way. This is the theory that starts bringing everybody together. And this is how you're able to communicate with your fellow musicians. You can write down, you've got lyrics, you run down, you know your melody, but you want the band to back you up. You know that you're doing a song that's going to start with an A minor chord, and you're going to be like, okay. To the F. Okay? Now, once you've got your theory, you see an A minor chord written on a piece of paper, or you hear it, you'll know that's an A minor. Now I know exactly what to do. So let's go back to our C chord for a minute, all right? C, E, G. Okay. Play it, and when you move it out of, this is called a root position because the bottom note is the root note of the chord. So that's a C major chord in root position, C, E, G. When you move up to E, G, C, that's called a first inversion. G, C, E is called a second inversion. You don't have to worry about memorizing all these things right now. But what I want you to do is play a C chord. Again. Almost just, Yeah.
C, E, G.
E, G, C, G, C, E, doesn't matter. Just play those three notes.
C, G.
Almost. There. Did you hear the difference between those two?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
like a minor, major.
Uh-huh, exactly. Okay. And there's one other component. Let me slide in there for a second. There are times when when you play C, E, G, now that I'm telling you, this is the beautiful thing about music theory. There are rules and they're all meant to be broken. Okay? So a C, E, G, that's always a C chord, right? C, G, doesn't matter what. But if I play the C, E, G and I change my note, my bass note, to an A, I've completely changed the chord. It's no longer a C major chord. Although, what am I playing here? C major.
It's just a minor.
Now I'm playing an A minor chord. This is another theory thing. Because every major chord has its what's called a relative minor. We'll get into that. But what we want to do, where we want to start, is you getting comfortable knowing all your major chords and minor chords, for starters. So if I start on my root in my major scale, I go to my third, I go to my fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 5. That's a C major chord. If I start on a D, 3, 5, that's a D major chord. So now I know in a D major chord, I've got what notes? D, and what's this one, do you know? This one here?
G.
Almost. You're a little high for that one. So this is D,
F sharp.
E, F sharp, that's right. And this note?
A.
That's right. So a D chord is made up of those three notes. D, F sharp, A. An E flat chord is made up of these three notes. Can you name those?
D sharp. G. And A sharp.
Or E flat, D sharp, E flat, G, B flat. How about those three notes?
B. F sharp. And A. Oh wait, no, B.
So that's the B, this note.
That's G sharp.
G sharp, right. And that's an E chord. Again, I'm just moving up in root position here. So. So we'll start building a chord theory. Once you learn your chords, oh my gosh. I mean, there's pretty much nothing you can't do. Then it's a matter of just finding styles and everything else.
Alright.
So before we wrap up, do you have any other questions for me?